Hello, I come to you barefaced in want of things that I cannot have. My name is Chelsea. You can find me at Cowboy Chels on all forms of social media. I need to make a palette that will quench the thirst that has built up in my heart, and I'm gonna subject you to it. I won't keep you for too long. I just want to say thank you so much for all of the highs and hellos that I got in my last video. It's really good to chat with you guys in the comment section. I always look forward to it. As you can see, I moved Molly off her final resting place, my fucking desk, for this. So I mean business. Welcome to my desk. This is a tablecloth. Love. This is a stain from Self Tanner. Classy. Let me set the stage. This is what we're going for. As you can see, these are the palettes that I was very obsessed with in the last video where I was talking about new makeup releases that I cannot have because I already have so much fucking makeup. Nevertheless, I yearn to show you what we are working with. Okay, as you can see, a lot of Colourpop palettes are happening. I do want to say regarding this one, I'm interested in using this soon by itself, like as a palette. I had such a good time playing with it in my last video and like getting to know it a little bit that I'm interested in using it for a tutorial video on my Instagram or TikTok or here, fuck, who knows. So I'm gonna set it to the side. I know that I want to use some of these Clionadh shadows right here because I like literally just got them and I feel about them in a very specific and almost a little bit too much, a little bit crazy kind of way. So I want to utilize them for sure. At least one, maybe two. I have to create the color story in just this, you know, little size. What do I see in the context of this specific palette? I'm thinking shadow right here and maybe even this one right here. But I need to be very selective because I have a lot of creation that I'm trying to shove into a small amount of space. So let's take them out and just kind of put them to the side. I talked about blues, and so I'm gonna grab this just for now. I don't know if it's gonna make it because I feel like the blues that I was talking about are a little bit deeper in nature, but let's grab this just for now. I don't know if it's wise, but I'm also going to grab these two. At this point, I'm like, I need to focus, and yet what great bounty these are and how fun. And I do feel like they are in vibes caught within that Unearthly palette. I just wonder if I have the space. I don't know. Before I put this, the Aurora Struck palette from Colourpop away, is there anything left in here that I think of when I see the Melt Cosmetics Bride of Frankenstein palette? Yes, but I believe those things might be like, I see these, I see them, but I wonder if I see them better, or at least for the sake of like diversity within what I'm creating right now and other palettes. And so I'm going to set this one aside, and here's what we took from it. Love them. Here, let me hold these up so you can see the differences between these two. Well, this is like a more fine duochrome and this is one of their grittier like glitters, offering different contributions. Let me set them aside. Let's go ahead and do the Clionadh shades. These two are Fantasy Cosmetica singles. I do think that I'm gonna pull this one. I'm particularly thinking about that blue Midnight from the Unearthly Cosmetics palette, but despite the fact that I do really love this shade from the Aurora Strike palette from Colourpop, I think that it has enough in common with this top shade right here, while this one's still having enough like specialness to it. I feel comfortable putting this one back and pulling this one to take its place. They're not the same, don't get me wrong, but I think that what I get from this one, I also get from here while still getting a little bit extra. They are, you know, very different, and yet in my heart they take the same space. With this blue, even though it's such like a beautiful and wonderful blue, I do foresee myself like using it in the future. I don't see its place. Rock On from Colourpop. I really like this palette. I think that it comes in handy like a million times over. It's like Red Rock, like Colorado Red Rock. I absolutely see very similar shades to this and this in that Gargoyle palette. I love this shade very much. It's this like very beautiful red clay with subtle sparkle versus, you know, we see these like foily kind of shades over here, but it does not have its place here, unfortunately. What about here? These are some singles that I either purchased individually or depotted shades. So a lot of like the Colourpop holiday shades are depotted up here, and then Milk Cosmetics Smoke Sessions is down here. You may already know this, but I've been thinking about this specific palette quite a bit lately. Despite it having shimmer, whatever, I don't care. I'm gonna pull this shade right here. I feel like it has enough in common with the Bride of Frankenstein palette, even though the one in there is matte and this one has a shimmer. Who knows? It might not make it to the end, but I'm gonna pull it for now. Is there anything else here? I'm gonna take both of these for now. Just for now. Something to me is suiting of this very like autumn ochre gargoyle that is happening, okay? My little tinies, these are so helpful for times like this when I'm wanting to create a color story. And I know that I absolutely want to grab this very dark blue. Duh. I'm gonna grab this purple as well. Despite it being really neat, it's new enough that I am kind of thinking I might do the same thing that I'm doing with that other palette, where I'll keep it as itself for the meantime so I get to play with it as an experience and color story that has been set for me. Is there anything here that I have not quite yet achieved with the others? You know, I honestly, like when I pulled this, I thought I was going to be using quite a bit of the blues and purples from it, but I actually feel like I've gotten what I needed. I'm gonna say toodaloo. And what about these two singles from Half Magic? I have quite the huge fondness for Half Magic. They are always going to be in my hearts. Oh. Ooh. The interesting part of the top one has already been taken up, but I'm going to hang on to this bottom one just for a second, and we'll see if things align to keep it. I'm so excited about this. Okay, starting with my must-haves. In this moment, I feel that they are this blue reflective from Clionadh that goes into a champagne on the skin. This kind of burnt ochre from Colourpop. This is like my favorite part of these little edits, because the thing is, these are similar in shade enough. This one has more of like a satin sheen, this has a full-blown sparkle, and yet the thing is, often with making these edits, this rectangle is like more convenient than a bunch of circles in this little shape. It might end up being, I mean, like, we're gonna play around with it for a second, but it might end up being this one for the sheer fact of the puzzle that we must create together. I think I might be able to replace this sandy orange with something similar and smaller from here. You know, I grabbed it. I'm not liking it. Let me just put it to the side for just a second. We can fit something in right there. I just feel like it's missing something very specific that I don't know what it is. And it's so dark that you can barely distinguish it from the rest, but this is a very, very dark navy. Oh, I don't know. Now that I've brought the camera in a little closer, I am really liking that I added this army green. One of these I think need to be added. This might be it. And yes, it is a lot, but we must consider that you can always grab a neutral palette to hang with it. You may have noticed I do not have that lime from the Bride of Frankenstein palette in shadow form. I do not have that. But I do have this lovely liner, an accompaniment of this palette. I'm excited to swatch this. I do want to let you know that due to, you know, low space, I've been keeping this area open specifically for eyeshadow swatches for quite some time now. Unfortunately, even I don't have a lot of say what I might do in the future. So who knows, but for now, we have this beautiful expanse of flesh. Devastating and true. I think that I didn't have the camera on for some of these, but we've got the first 2 rows down. We're at the Clionadh in the brown. Here we are. What do you think? I can see so many beautiful eyes created out of these shades. I do believe that this has given me the same ability of creation that the Gargoyle palette would have given me. Like, I really do think that's true, and I think that's exactly what I needed to help kind of fill that space right now in my grabby little hands. But at the same time, this isn't like my most favorite color edit that I've ever created. I do like it though, and I can see what is capable of being made with it. Okay, what do you think? Did we capture the vibe that I was going for? Are there choices that I made that you would have made a very different choice and think I'm really fucking stupid for? Tell me in the comment section below. I loved spending this time with you. If you want to see my face again, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps a small channel like myself out so much. Take care of yourself and take care of others. Bye.